talk about the Girdle of Venus. And you have an example of a regular, normal Girdle of Venus in purple. And the Girdle of Venus, you see, it's a little smiley. So it's above the heart line. So it shows a lot of sensitivity and creativity. So it gives us the ability to inspire others through our creativity. So when it's complete, it's a wonderful line to have. Sometimes, in the case of a simian line, you have a Girdle of Venus. And in this case, the Girdle of Venus takes the role of the heart line. But it's still the Girdle of Venus. So it's still very creative and very sensitivity, but we have a simian line. So you can see that there is still the intensity between too hot and too cold, but with a person who is probably very creative and probably should use his or her creativity. Sometimes what looks like a broken heart line is actually a Girdle of Venus. And in this case, it's a partial girdle because it starts, but then the heart line itself is short. So in this case, the person is very cold, appears to be very cold because the heart line is short, but is actually able to express himself through art or something creative. This is the case of this person who does beautiful art, but is relatively cold when you talk to him. And sometimes we have a Girdle of Venus that actually crosses the heart line. So you remember that the Girdle of Venus is supposed to be a smiley face, but when it crosses the heart line, when it goes down, we actually have more like a wince. And in this case, the person has a ton of creativity, but he or she is very sensitive, hypersensitive. And the fact that the Girdle of Venus is going down, the person is not using his creativity the way he should. So he's feeling isolated, he has a lack of motivation, he's looking for some sort of escape, he can be dependent on someone or something, and he loses his original charisma. And life is hard.